Everybody, this is Stephen Howson, this is Full Time Devils, and a little bit of breaking news that's massive for club and country, as Wayne Rooney has been dropped by England. He is the club captain, he is the country captain, and now he's not getting games for either. Rooney has given a joint press conference with Gareth Southgate, and Gareth Southgate has come out and said it is a football decision. That's big, I think. Based on the opposition, on a human level, it's a very difficult decision, but I don't like some people getting an element of satisfaction that he's not in the team. A lot of haters have been about. I am probably more annoyed on that because he has had to deal with this throughout his career. Now, this is absolutely massive. Southgate's dropped him. Jose Mourinho's dropped him. I think it's more worrying for Wayne Rooney as a footballer that Southgate's dropped him. Because let's face it, on the face of things, Manchester United is a top-level Premier League side. Whether we win the title or not this season, we're going to be in the top 2, 3, 4 out of a push, I would have thought. England, if they was to play in the Premier League, are what? Bottom half of the table at best. Wayne Rooney can't get into a mediocre England side. That should sound the death knell for his Manchester United career. If he can't get into the England side, then what use are you to Manchester United? Now, there's two ways it can go with this with Rooney. We can see him go completely off the rails and just throw it all to pieces. Or you might start to see him understand that his time at the top, his time when he was first choice, guaranteed to start every single week, is over. Because it is over. I think what we've seen this first month or two this season is that is now over. But that doesn't mean that Wayne Rooney's use as a footballer for England or for Manchester United is over. There's still a lot for Wayne Rooney to offer. There's still an absolute huge amount Wayne Rooney can offer if he decides that he can be a squad player. If he decides to take on the sort of role that we saw Ryan Giggs and Paul Scholes take on in the latter stages of their career. Even the likes of Brian Robson. Age catches up with every single player unless you bow out at the top like Eric Cantona did. Now, I don't think Wayne Rooney's going to do that. So Rooney now has to look at what he can do and look at how he can prolong his career and look how he can get back into both of these sides, because despite how old he is as a player, he's still actually quite young in years. So if he's out of the team for England, is this a time when Gareth Southgate and Wayne Rooney maybe get their heads together and Rooney, as Alan Shearer suggested, retires from international football, especially on the back of all the booing that he got? I mean, there's a lot of people that are frustrated with him at United, but I've never seen Wayne Rooney booed at Old Trafford, and I would have a word with anybody that I saw doing that, because that's out of order. We don't boo our own like that. Now, I'm going to get to you guys in the comments and see what you guys are saying. Someone says, Huzaf says, I think it's better for him. Evening. Hello, Claire. Premier League legend. Wayne Rooney will end up as a defender playing as he does. I don't think he's going that far back. We miss our old Rooney. The point is, we haven't had that Wayne Rooney. Do you remember when he got the 50th goal for England? They started doing all these documentaries and stuff. That player, that Wayne Rooney that we saw in those, hasn't played for Manchester United for years, since 2011, 2012. I don't think he should retire full stop. No, I think he's still got a lot to offer. It's on him whether he's got the ego that he needs to be able to start every week. If he can accept that he's not going to start every week, then yeah, absolutely, Wayne Rooney has got a hell of a lot to give to England and United. The end of Rooney begins. Yep, I think we are seeing that, possibly. He's been poor lately, but I think you need to tell the fans to stop being harsh to our captain. At Old Trafford, there's no one booing him. People are allowed and entitled to their opinions online, and I think that people are expressing their opinion because they was fed up with the media covering up for him. We're seeing one thing with our eyes, and then the media and his teammates that used to be in the team with him are coming out and saying the other, and I think that's when people go a little bit over the top maybe. Ultimately, Rooney's not completely finished, and he's not completely world class, but he is slipping towards the looks like he could be done stage of his career. Looks like Rooney's playing up. The comments are going a little bit too fast for me. Needs to adapt now or retire. Not to retire. Still has things to offer. He absolutely has things to offer. Absolutely. Why is Rooney always the scapegoat? Well, I do think that you are going to be the scapegoat, and possibly quite rightly. If you are the national team captain, if you are the captain of the biggest club in the world and you are the highest paid player and you're not pulling your weight in terms of effort, as we saw Zlatan having a go at him for not pressing when he just come on as a substitute, in terms of output in goals, assists or usefulness on the pitch, if you're not able to adapt to the system and if you can't carry the nation as the nation's captain, then there does need to be questions asked. He's not the scapegoat, but people are right to be asking the questions when the guy is the captain and the highest paid player in the country. Rooney needs to accept a squad role or move to a club who can offer more, says Matthew. I agree on that one. Looking at the way he's playing tells me he isn't working hard anymore. There's always been rumours that Wayne Rooney didn't look after himself. He wasn't obsessed with football the way someone like Cristiano Ronaldo was, and the way Ronaldo wanted to work hard to get there, and Rooney just did the minimum. You don't hear stories of Rooney staying behind after training to do anything extra. You don't hear of him doing yoga or going onto a vegan diet to prolong his career the way Ryan Giggs did. That's the sort of thing that you should possibly be looking at. Yes, footballers have a life, but they're also paid ungodly amounts of money to try and be the best that they can in a very short space of time. Was a beast, correct. Rooney should quit England and he needs to stop thinking he is number one anymore, says John. I'm not sure you'll see him quit England, but you might, especially as now he's the record goal scorer. He might do. But he'll get hammered for it. He will get absolutely hammered for it. You know what the press are like. Any little weakness like that, if he retires from international football, they're going to say that he's thrown his teddies out of pram. They're going to say that he's not got to fight for it anymore. Rooney is probably in a can't-win situation, unfortunately, and I feel for him. Too many comments in the live chat. Yeah, it's tough to read. Jose's giving Rooney a place in midfield, but doesn't play Schwein in midfield, who's a midfielder. That's a great point. Rooney, leader isn't a real leader. We can only say what we see on the pitch, but from what you hear, there's a lot of stuff that goes on. And Rooney was caught pulling people up on stuff last year as captain, telling them this isn't the United way. Young players that was getting out of line, Rooney was putting them straight in the line. So let's be fair to Wayne Rooney here. Let's not just go completely in and discount everything that the guy is currently doing. I'm not going to talk about what he's done in the past, because what he's done for his past stands up and speaks for itself. But I am talking about what Wayne Rooney's doing now. And if he is still being that leader in the dressing room, if he is still righting wrongs on the training pitch and making sure that the lads are going down the straight and narrow, then he absolutely has got something to offer still. Whether or not that's 50 games a season, I don't think it is anymore. He should do coaching badges and take a back seat on the pitch. I don't know if he's got. The desire to be a coach. I really don't. We have to accept that Rooney is not just about in the pitch, very important off the pitch. Correct. Zlatan is surprisingly good for 35, 36. Zlatan's an athlete. Zlatan is someone that's worked hard at his fitness for a long, long time. And you look at the physical attributes of Zlatan and Rooney, and you say to me, who's the older out of the two? Then you would say Rooney's definitely got more miles on the clock. Rooney is a leader. RVP was sold when his form dropped. Why not Rooney? I think there's a little bit more to it with Rooney than with RVP. Do I see Rooney going if we were to sell him, whatever, and want him? I don't know if he'd go to another Premier League. I don't know if he's got it in him to go to another Premier League and take on another full couple of seasons in him. I don't know if... People always talk about the MLS. People always talk about China. Is it that? He should train with Ibra. Well, he does train with Ibra. Rooney pissed off is pretty scary. He could definitely be a coach. It's not just about being angry, though, is it? Rooney has lost the pace and desire. I didn't see your name there, unfortunately. Rooney should only play in the cup games. Brutal. Let's do some shout-outs in the comments then. Yeah, drop us a like and we'll do some shout-outs. How old is Rooney? I think he's 31 this month, I think. Rooney was sacrificed. Hang on, let me get to this one. This one's a good one. Rooney was sacrificed most of his career to suit other players. Now that he finally got the armband, which he should have gotten from Vidic before he left. He was sacrificed, but really not too much. Tom says, should Rooney be stripped of captaincy for club and country? I think that's a bit harsh. If you're going to drop the guy... I remember there was a time when Paddy Evra was United captain. Giggs was Gary Neville actually was probably the best example. Gary Neville was United captain and not playing a lot, but he's still the club captain. He should be sold and returned as a coach. Where's everyone getting this idea that Rooney would like to be a coach? I mean, we just put this onto him. Miss the old Rooney. Absolutely. Do you know what? When you actually look back and see how good Wayne Rooney is, there was a time when Wayne Rooney was unquestionably one of the best footballers in the world. Unfortunately, time's got to him like it does to everybody, and it's just one of those things, isn't it? The next England and Man United captain, well, I think it's going to be Jordan Henderson for England, which just shows you how rubbish England are. And I don't really care about England in a great deal, to be honest. But your next United captain, I worry, it's probably going to go to Smalling. But after that, there is a lack of leaders, I think, with Manchester United. Have we any proper leaders in our squad? I do think we have one, and I do think he's being ostracised and put out in the dark at the moment, and that's Bastian Schweinsteiger. I think he's a player that we could turn to for leadership. England will go nowhere, they just don't have respect. I do find it sad the way England fans have turned on Rooney, but are you surprised? This is what's happened with England fans and Manchester United players since the dawn of football. This is what happens. This is what happens with England. This is why United fans don't give a shit about England, because you take all of our players, you treat them like shit, and then you send them back, everyone upset. It's a nightmare. Henderson deserves to be the next England captain. You're right, he plays for a mid-table team. England are a mid-table team. There you go. David De Gea would be my choice for captain, or Blind possibly. I will need to see him being a bit more vocal on the pitch, David De Gea. He seems quite passive. I like my leaders to be, Roy Keane style. Get in your face. Herrera would be a great captain. James Mullen, that's a good point. And I've spoken about this a little bit recently as well, where I think if he does play this season, and he needs to have an excellent, like an 8 or 9 out of 10 season. I think he's got all the attributes to be a captain, but he's got to play. You can't be a captain when you're only playing 60% of the games, can you? Can Southgate win the Euros or a World Cup for England? Does Southgate look like the sort of guy that you would follow into anything? I wouldn't follow him into the shop, let alone into battle. Where's the leadership? I don't know what he's like tactically. Obviously, all the under-21 players who've played under him say that he's good tactically, and he did have a very successful record with the England under-21s. He won 79% of his matches with the England under-21s. But remember, England under-21s is a good side. What can he do with a mediocre side? Well, I'll tell you what he can do with a mediocre side. When he was the Middlesbrough manager, he only had 29% win ratio. That's the guy that you choose to appoint as your England manager, a guy with less than a third wins. And you want to make that your England manager and then think that he can go and win a tournament with the likes of Germany and Spain and Italy? Behave yourself. No wonder Wales get further than us, or Iceland knock us out in tournaments, when that's the sort of thing that we put on. And the England job's the richest job in football. Think about that, right? The richest job in football. You should be able to go out, line up every single manager and say, we will take the pick because we've got the biggest bank book here, and we will get the best manager in, and we will get the best director of youth football in, and we will make English football strong again. But who did he appoint? Sam Allardyce. Fucking Gareth Southgate. What are you going to do with Gareth Southgate? You're sitting there in the changing rooms. It's a semi-final of the European Championships or the World Cup, and you're like, fucking Gareth Southgate, what did you win as a player, mate? Nothing. How can you have a guy that's just done absolutely jack shit as a player tell you how to go and be successful? You're sitting there with Gareth Southgate and go, hang on, didn't the reason we didn't win in Euro 96 was because you missed a penalty? Why don't you shut your mouth? You know nothing. 29% win ratio in Middlesbrough, and this is the guy that you want to be in charge. The biggest job in English football. You give to one of the worst managers. Where's the logic in that? I don't get it. And that's why I can never get behind the England team. I don't care. I don't care. As much as I want to go full Andy Tate on it, I don't care about England. Manchester United's my only love. Rooney must start against Liverpool or else we will lose. Let's get back on that. Out with the old and in with the new. Yeah. Dele Alli for the future captaincy. Again, I don't know what sort of personality he's got or anything like that. Rooney was at the level of Ronaldo in the 18s and early 20s, but he faded. I don't think it's down to the changing of positions. You look at a lot of players, they change position all the time. Paul Scholes changed his position all the time. We're going to get smashed by Liverpool and Chelsea, says the Barcelona fan who's on Little Old United's page. Nice one, mate. Where can I find a video of Zlatan moaning at Rooney? It was in the Zoira game. Brian Clough would be perfect for the job, and he never got it when he should have got it either. This is the thing, right? What the English FA have done is they've just had a guy that's potentially, allegedly, been done for corruption. You've got the likes of Redknapp, you've got the likes of Bruce, you've got all of these people that might be involved, allegedly, just covering myself, don't know for definite who's involved in this corruption case. So the FA have literally just gone, who's the most safest appointment? Who's the most boring knobhead that we can find that the papers aren't going to be able to dig any shit up on? And it's Gareth Southgate. One, because he's got no friends, so he's never gone on a night out. He's never stayed up past 10:30 without tucking his jammers into his bottoms. And he's never done anything wild or crazy to get himself in trouble. He is literally the most boringest man next to Michael Owen. That's why they've gone for Gareth Southgate, because he's a straight boring knobhead, and that's the sort of guy that you think's going to lead England to glory. Do me a favour. Should Rooney play against Liverpool, do you think? For me, I would. I'd play him because I think we need a little bit of fire in the team. But you can't play Rooney, Mata and Fellaini at the same time because they're too slow. Done. United's next captain. No idea. Why would anyone want the England job? Missed it. Comments are going too fast. Right, what score do you reckon it's going to be? Do you even care about this Slovenia game tomorrow? Or like me, are you just thinking, can't wait till Monday night, under the lights at Anfield? That's proper football for me. That's what it's all about. Let him play, but Liverpool after that, push Pogba upfield. I like Pogba further back, he's not number 10. If Rooney's not going to start anymore, then he must be sold due to wages and the ego. His wages are huge, aren't they? You could get some pretty good players in with that. Rooney gives us a third dimension. Ranieri for England. Personally, I think it should be an Englishman, but I can see the shouts for going and getting somebody foreign. As much as you hate... I don't hate him. I can't read these comments. Sorry, they're going too fast. But listen, thank you to everybody that's joined us. Let us know in the comments as soon as the video finishes. What's your score predictions for Liverpool? Do you even care about this England game tomorrow night against Slovenia? Or are you just focused on going to Anfield and putting one over the Scousers? Thank you for watching us. Make sure to subscribe if you are new here. Thank you for joining. And I'm out of here. See you in a bit.